Hello, hello, hello. This is Valencia, and I am with Valencia's Voice and Echoes in the Earth Realm. Here with the video on Twin Flame Journey, Divine Feminine, married to karmic spouse. Okay, so this video again is going to be like my other ones, where I'm just reflecting on my personal experiences, and you'll be able to kind of document and track like some of the key signs and symptoms as it relates to whether or not your spouse is a karmic, or if they are actually your divine masculine. And more importantly, this is a part of the healing process for me as I continue to elevate and activate, and more specifically close out this chapter of life. And Spirit is telling me, like, I didn't want to really do it, and I said that on my first video dealing with the karmic mother, that's the Black Widow. I really didn't want to do this, but Spirit is saying that you got to get this stuff out of your system before the end of the year. Like, you got to stop carrying this stuff. You got to release it, and you got to allow yourself to be free from the weight of this stuff, because it's no longer yours to carry. And so as such, that is what I am doing. I am very grateful. I'm very thankful for the ability to be able to learn the lesson in this lifetime, so that I am able to apply those lessons in this lifetime and not repeat the same story over and over again. Now, I already done had a conversation with Ghost I got, and I'm just like, I ain't coming back to this earth no more, okay? Like, this is it. So we gotta clean up whatever we need to clean up, because it is too much. You understand? When you really get dedicated to like doing the inner work for yourself, and you start taking responsibilities for your actions, and you start taking responsibilities for your role, even if somebody is abusive or whatever. When you start taking responsibility for your role in the situation, it kind of changes things, because you can't just put everything on somebody else. You definitely have to take responsibility for your actions, and it can become overwhelming at times to kind of confront your own demons, your own shadows. So my story with the divine twin flame journey, me being a divine feminine, me ended up marrying the karmic. I've known my soon-to-be ex-husband for a very long time. We were actually like kind of good friends before we even started dating or anything like that. Okay. And so he pretty much knew me, he knew my dating style. He knew the type of men that I dated. He knew how the men treated me, et cetera, et cetera. And so what Spirit is saying is that, he knew that, pretty much all the dudes that I ever dated pretty much dogged me. Whether they like really care for me or really love me or not, they all pretty much dogged me. They all cheated on me. They all kind of disrespected me in some type of like public way, whether it was like bringing women around or, cheating on me with multiple women, whatever that may be. And he knew that, and he knew that I was a very loyal person even to the default of trying to keep attached to relationships that I knew that were no good for me. And this is something that you learn from childhood, especially when you grow up with a narcissist as a parent. You learn how to, attract people that will see that you have abandonment issues as it relates to relationships. So you don't necessarily want to end things. You always want to hold on to things. Even when you start to see the red flags, you continue to hold on, because you're searching and you're looking for, that love and that comfort and that support, even when you know that the person is not worthy of your love, your time, or your attention. And so,
we met like when we were in college. We were in college together or whatever. And so, like I said, he knew like all the people I dated and stuff because we were really, really good friends. I mean, and to bounce things back off of each other, we did good as friends. Like we were like best friends in college. And so, now remember with the narcissist always kind of uses triangulation to bait their conquerors in. Okay. And so when he actually moved in with me, it was a result of him staying with some other friends. The friends stole all his clothes and he didn't want to live there anymore with them. So he came to stay with me and I told him, it was okay. You can come stay with me. That's messed up that these people stole your clothes. They're supposed to be your friends, et cetera, et cetera. And so, we would hang out, we would chill. I would hang out with my friends. He would hang out with his friends. Then we would kind of all hang out together sometimes because, we all ran track together. And so we all had the same circle of friends. So, we would party and all these other things. So one night, me and my best friend, who's passed away, God bless his soul, we went to like one of our school parties and the fight broke out and they shut the party down. We got sprayed with mace in our face and in our mouth. So we came home. He was already home because he didn't really like to party, like go to the club or the school parties or anything like that. And so he was helping us, like telling us what to do because I had never got sprayed by mace before. So I didn't know what the heck was going on. I thought, I was about to pass out or something. And so, he was helping us or whatever. So that the next day when we woke up, I was like, my best friend spent the night. He slept in, I had a 2-bedroom apartment. My best friend slept in the other room. And, I slept in my room. And my soon-to-be ex-husband was, in the room with me. Like, he slept in the room with me. And so when I woke up in the morning, I was like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, something is not right. And so I got up and I was like, to my best friend, I was like, we got to go outside and go talk because I think something happened. And so long story short, my first sexual encounter with my soon-to-be ex-husband was a result of rape. And he has still never apologized to me to this day about this incident. He still keeps trying to deny it. And when I finally got the courage, which was last year in August, to like confront him about it, like really, really confront him about knowing that he raped me, his comment to me was, what you me too now? And I looked at him and I was like, you are the devil. Like, who the hell says that? That violates somebody. And I said to him, remember, you have a little black girl right here that is going to date somebody one day, that is going to marry somebody someday. So you remember those words that come out of your mouth. And it was really at that point where I realized that the person that I thought my soon-to-be ex-husband was definitely not the person who I made myself believe he was. Now, he's always been very like hot-tempered. He always had like sporadic outbursts and things like that. And looking back, hindsight, I was always the person like diffusing like the issues that he was having. So again, this is triangulation. Every time you got a problem, I'm learning about it. And because me being this empathetic person, I'm an empath, right? And I'm also a healer. And then I'm this person that have abandonment issues. And then I'm loyal to the fault. So I'm always trying to fix, neglecting what needs to be, worked on in me. I'm fixing, trying to help. And this is how he came into my life. Me trying to fix and help. Okay. And this is the thank you I get, right? The rape, okay? The abuse. This is the thank you I get, okay? So, after that incident, I was so scared and I was so nervous because, a lot of people, like I said in the part 2 of the Karmic Mother video, a lot of people like really look up to me because, I'm a good person. I'm a good-hearted person. I try to help everybody. I like to think I got my head on my shoulders. I set goals. I try to accomplish them. I know that, if it's for me, God is going to help me manifest it. I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to work the goal to it until, it's complete. And, I did a short, like little poem or whatever about me being able to manifest anything I ever wanted. And that's because I always had the faith and the belief that if it's for me, that God would always help me bring it into my reality, into my existence. Right. And that's what I meant about that. And so, I was so scared. Again, the abandonment issues, the attachment issues. And again, I've already been a prompt because I had a narcissist mother, right? That verbally abused me and made me think that I wasn't worthy and less than, right? And so after this incident happened, he may have gotten scared. And so I never made him move out. I never even brought it up. But I would like deeply like cry. And most of the times he would just get up and leave, and he knew I was crying. And so this is when like the love bombing stuff started, and we weren't even dating then either, right? This is when the love bombing started. And so he would start like buying me stuff and, bringing me flowers and talking nice to me and all this other stuff. He was really close with his mother then too. And I just remember like one day we were in my apartment and we were in the room that he like lived in. He was telling his mom, he was like, yeah, and this is my girlfriend. Like, we never had no conversation about him being my boyfriend. We never had no conversation about us dating or nothing like that. He was just like, yeah, this is my girlfriend. And me, just going along with it, not speaking up for myself and, just letting people do whatever, because I would sometimes let people that I was close to like walk all over me. And that was another lesson that Spirit told me that I had to learn in this lifetime, that I got to take responsibility for my life. I have to stand up for myself. I have to speak my truth, and I have to, stand my ground. And so it's pretty much like he told his mother I was his girlfriend. So I ended up becoming like his girlfriend, even though I really wasn't his girlfriend. And most of our friends that can, attest to us like from college, I never act like he was my boyfriend because he wasn't, you understand? But he set this narrative to his family that we were in a relationship when we weren't. Okay. And again, remember, he raped me. So I'm in victim mode. I don't want to tell nobody because I feel shame and guilt, which is what most victims do. They feel shame and guilt. And so they don't want to talk about it. They don't want nobody to know. And it's always, well, how could this happen to me? And especially somebody that I help. You know what I'm saying? And so, as life goes on, there was some good times. I'm not going to lie. We kind of balanced off each other really well as it related to, like balancing out a household, because really in my eyesight, we were like really good roommates. You understand? Really good friends. Like we worked well together in that sense. Now later on, because, he was still there or whatever like that, we did end up like start dating, but I still dated people in between, that time. Okay. Like we've been together for like almost over 20 years. Okay. But we didn't date that entire time, even though he may have projected that to his family. We were not. Okay. And then, like I said, he's always been verbally aggressive, but never like really got physical until this one time we went to a party. I was drinking with my friends. I ended up leaving the club. I had the keys to the car. He ended up coming home with some other friends. He gets into my friend's house, and I'm sitting next to one of her friends, and I guess we were talking and laughing and stuff. He comes inside in full rage, and he's like, oh, you liking that? Nigga, you liking that Nigga? And he grabs me up and pulls me down the steps and drags me and puts me in a car. And so takes me to the apartment. And then I call back to my friend, being me, not even thinking like, hey, this is abuse. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, dude tripping. Like, you ain't telling me what to do. And that's how I always treated him. Like, I ain't even worrying about you. I don't care nothing about what you doing. Called my friend and was like, yo, come get me, because I'm not staying here. I don't know who he think he is, what he think he doing or whatever. And so she came back and got me, and I went back to my friend's house and, stayed at the party. But I do remember also with the same friend, I used to tell her all the time that he used to go into my cell phone. He used to read my text messages, like my emails, some of my emails and stuff used to, get missing. And it's like, how all this stuff just like happening or whatever. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And it's only the two of us living in the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just little red flags that Spirit was trying to show me, but I never acknowledged them. And I never did what I was supposed to do to end these relationships, right? To speak up, to stand my ground, to not let somebody walk over me, not let somebody control me. And I continued to, allow this type of behavior, which I did have control of. I didn't didn't have control over him raping me. I did not have control of him grabbing me up and snatching me down the steps and putting me in the car and taking me home where my arm was bruised. I didn't have control over that, but I did have control over some of these other things. Okay. And that's the point that I really want to get across. Okay. And so, Spirit was just saying that, all these signs were being shown to you, and you try to act like it didn't exist. And again, I'm still coming from like a victim mentality of, like this really didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just going, just keep going with the motion or whatever. Okay. And so after that incident where he like grabbed me up or whatever, again, very empathetic. He kind of calmed down with being verbally aggressive and all that other stuff. And then something else would come up, and then, he's right back at it again. He was extremely, extremely, extremely jealous, even though he was still talking to like his old ex-girlfriends. And what I'm learning now too is that he was on a lot of like dating sites where he was talking to a lot of different women and things on dating sites. What Spirit is also laying down in my spirit is that he may also be like dealing with like a sex addiction or something like that. He used to talk about like sex like all the time to me, about like how he's so young and how he don't got no sex life and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what did you do before you ever met me? Because like this is not what's happening over here. You understand? I mean, and even after he raped me, I still, once I did get into a stage of saying like, I'm dating him and I'm with him, I still had like intercourse with him. Like, and I still can't even fathom why I would do that, because every time I did, most of the time I would cry. And what Spirit is telling me at this time is that it was my inner child that was crying because she didn't feel safe. She didn't feel comfortable. She felt violated. And now these incidents where there was intercourse that happened, it was not like, those incidents were not like forced. Okay. But he did at times try to bully me into having intercourse in public places, like at the beach, or one time he tried to make me like have sex with him in my bedroom, which I was in a townhome community that faced like the front of the community, and the window was open. And I'm like, dude, are you crazy? Like, don't you know people can like look in here and see in here? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And he always, inquired about doing like anal things. And I was like, nah, because first of all, I'm not a dog. And then second of all, just like from some of the research that I've learned, that that tissue that's back there, if it's ruptured, it can cause cancer. You understand? So even if it was something that I wanted to try, I wouldn't do it, because I'm not going to put myself in that situation. And that's just my opinion. I'm not knocking nobody that does that. Whatever your thing is, that's your thing. Okay. And so he would always try to peer pressure me into doing that. Now with a narcissist, right? For me, people that are narcissists, that's just a clinical term of what they give it. For me, in a spiritual sense, these people are possessed by some type of spirit or some type of demon. Okay. And the reason why they prefer anal intercourse is because this is the first part of the body that's developed, and it gets you quicker to like the connection of like the soul, the inner being. You understand? And this is why they like that, to try to dominate you and to control you. Okay. But that never went down in my book. That's not how I get down. That's just not something that I'm into. Okay. And so he would try to like bully me into, or make me feel bad because I didn't want to do things in like public places, or things that I felt just was, uncomfortable for me. And so as time kind of went on, he continued to get aggressive and things of that nature. And we would always argue. We were always fighting about something, but we did. So like, there was a lot of good, but there were also a lot of bad. Okay. And I even think that because like I'm such a good person, I'm a healing person, because he's not really sure of who he is, he kind of mimics the energy of the person that he's around, especially if they're a dominant person. And I think that he may suffer from imposter syndrome, right? So whoever he's around and and they're like a dominant energy, he kind of mimics that. And I think that that's why things kind of went pretty good for us, because even at some point, I do think that he was actually like healing from being the narcissist. I swear to God. Okay. And then, he started like reconnecting with his family, and I don't really want to get into that because I actually do like his family, okay? But I do think that they are like a karmic family. I think that they are meant to teach the women that they come into contact with their lesson in life, right? To help them learn a major lesson in life. I love his daddy. I love his, his brothers and stuff. They've always been nice to me. I've never had like any ill will or ill intentions with them. Just like when things just got really tough, the only thing that I can say is that, like when I needed them to come and show up for us, nobody was present. That's the only bad thing that I can really say about, that. Okay. But I've always, had like a good relationship with them as it relates to our connection. And I can't even really get mad because we're adults and people don't want to get in people's business and people don't want to get in people's marriages, so you can't get mad at that, you know what I'm saying? But what I can say about the marriage piece, when I started complaining and trying to get his family to come, his mother to come, I was calling his mother, I was calling his father, I was calling his siblings, I was talking to his stepmother. When I started to explain some of the things that I was experiencing, his stepmother kind of had a similar story to tell as well. She was just saying, how it's hard to marry and be in a relationship with these kind of men and whatever that is. Okay. I can only talk about my story and what I know to be true for me. Okay. And so, as I started learning about the twin flame journey and karmics and soulmates and life partners and all these other things, you start to learn that there are karmic families and, they are meant to teach you major lessons in your life. And the one thing I can say that is a good thing about this karmic relationship, even though, it was literally hell, especially at the end, it helped me awaken to be this person that I am now, which is, walking the spiritual life path, having this beautiful baby, wanting to serve the greater good for all, not just for selfish gain. You understand? Like, I want to be of service to the world. So that is what has come out of this relationship. And that is ultimately what is supposed to happen. You understand? So he served his role, you know what I'm saying, in my life. He did what he was supposed to do. The downfall to that is that my husband is very spiritually gifted. He's aware of his gifts to some extent. He doesn't really know, but he knows that he has gifts. And instead of him using those gifts for good, he's using his gifts for evil. Okay. And he has done a lot of things to me that, like, in the physical realm, I cannot like really prove, but then there are some physical things that I can prove. Like, he had me attacked at his work. He had some lady fight me at his job. We called the police, where they could clearly see that the woman came and attacked me. They didn't arrest her. They didn't press no charges or anything like that. He's had people follow me. He and his best friend had been like, mimicking my phone, like mirroring my phone, getting my text messages, my telephones, hacking my email, all type of craziness, right? And this is that thing, that possessiveness, that control, wanting to dominate pretty much everything and anything you do. And before long, you kind of forget like who you are. And these things are very subtle. Like, I had a couple of cars that, that we had. And, he had me have all my cars sitting up at his job, and so every time I had to use my car, I had to go to his car to go get it. Now, in hindsight, this is craziness, but he had me believe that, you don't want to have all these cars sitting outside the house because people are jealous of you and, people might do such and such, when all in reality, he wanted to make sure that he could keep track of what car I was in, you know what I'm saying, where I was going and all these other things. He had trackers in my car, all type of stuff. I'm trying to make sure I don't like go off a track. So there's the manipulation, there's the lying, there is the belittling, there is the violating of who you are. And then, as life's kind of like progressed or whatever, and, I'm trying to, pursue higher education again. I just started getting a sense of like, I don't want to do this no more. And I feel that he started to realize that I was going to leave because I got over it. Like once I started to awaken in 2014, 15-ish kind of, I started this spiritual journey where I wanted to awaken to my higher self. And I believe that he realized, especially with his spiritual gifts, because he does have psychic abilities. And again, he doesn't use them for good. And he's done a lot of psychic mind reading attacks on me. He does a lot of hovering over me. He's spoken curses over me to curse my money. He's done a spell. Spirit has advised me as well that I would never be able to work in the United States again. That anytime I get money that I'll lose it. And I've had some hardship now. And I'm usually a person that I've never not been able to not pay a bill. I've never been a person that didn't have money, all these type of things. And so get down. So, some of these things that, I'm so sorry, y'all. My baby just got up into the window. So I've never been a person that has not been able to, take care of myself. And so once I decided to get up and walk away, don't do that, boo boo. Once I was able to get up and walk away, all this craziness started happening. So not only am I getting, attacked and, these curses and hexes coming from the karmic, widow mother, but now here comes this man who can feel and sense and probably even got a reading that, that I was going to leave him. And so, all these things just started to happen. And so then here comes these conversations about how all he ever wanted, and this is guilt tripping me and making me feel bad. All we've ever done is what you wanted to do, and all I ever wanted was a baby and all this other stuff, right? And so guilt tripping me into getting pregnant while I'm in the midst of trying to complete my PhD. And so once we decided that this is what we was going to do, even though I'm still contesting. We did agree to have this baby, but he guilt tripped me into having my baby before I was really ready to have the baby. I will say that. We did agree to have the baby. I'm not going to lie about that. We did agree to have the baby, but he did guilt trip me into having a baby. And he also used magic on coercing me into having the baby prior to me wanting to have the baby when I wanted to. Okay. I had too much going on. I was running a business. Okay. I was going to school full time. I was working a part-time job. Who in the hell has a baby in the midst of all this stuff going on? Nobody in their right frame of mind. Okay. So, we do what we need to do. And I end up getting pregnant. Now, once I got pregnant with the baby, he turned into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is when he started amping up, being verbally abusive, neglecting me because I, towards the end of the pregnancy, I stopped working and I was just doing the school stuff. So he started becoming very verbally abusive. He used to cook all the time. He stopped cooking. When I would be going places and I would call him, I would be scared because I was so later off in, the pregnancy. He would not answer the phone when I would call and things like that. Just trying to show me I'm the one in control and you better listen, to me, this very domineering person. It's when you try to put it in words, it doesn't really make sense. But if you've experienced it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so it was just he just started getting very, very aggressive. And what I'm learning, just with any type of abuse, but more specifically with narcissists, they need you to be paying attention to them all the time. All your energy, all your efforts, all your focus needs to be on them. And when you become pregnant, all that energy and focus goes onto the baby. And so now, he doesn't know what to, he doesn't know what to do because he wants this energy, right? He's also an energy vampire as well, okay? And so he would just be doing all type of craziness. And I would just be calling my mother, calling his family. And it was nothing would resolve. So once I had my daughter or whatever, again, he started getting even more aggressive. He tried to make everybody think that I was crazy, because there were things that were going on in the neighborhood, which I didn't know these kind of things were happening. But what I'm later learning is that he was in a relationship or had some intimate relationships with my neighbor, who ends up being one of my karmics as well. And so there was that whole thing. Then there was like this big old like police thing that happened that didn't have anything to do with me, but that stuff came to my house. So then that created a whole nother instance for me. But prior to that, there was a lot of things that were going on because he was involved in these things that were going on. And this type of energy and this stuff was coming towards me, and more specifically while I was pregnant. And so I was trying to make sense of what was happening, but I could not make sense of what was happening because I didn't like actually know what was going on. But later coming to find out, he's in cahoots with these people and doing stuff, and he was actually sending people to attack me, to try to intimidate me, to scare me, all this type of craziness, like all this craziness. And so once I had my daughter, I was just like, okay, let me just try to make things work. I don't care what happened in the past. Let's, just let bygones be bygones. We're going to try to start over. And the more I tried to make things work, the worse he got. He always would say, I'm going to take your baby. I'm going to call social service. If I did something that he didn't like, he would always kind of talk about like, I'm going to call the police on you. And they're going to take your baby. Everything was, I'm going to take your baby. Now, I want to say this, okay? Because I'm saying this again because I'm saying that he comes from a karmic family, okay? His brothers and his dad, all of them have their kids, okay? Like every single one of them have every single one of their kids, full custody, right? And so what Spirit is saying to me is that he really thought that once he was going to have this baby, that he was going to like take my baby. You understand? Our baby. But, your behavior doesn't warrant you being a dad right now because you're not acting like a dad, right? So he thought that he was either going to like make me do what it was that he wanted me to be, which is pretty much to be like a servant to him, or he was going to take this baby, and be like his brothers or whatever. Okay, I don't know what his brother's story is with their kids, but I'm not used to men having full custody of every single child that they have. That's all I'm gonna say about that right there. Okay, so I was just like, what, this mess is crazy. I got to get up out of here. So, I'm like trying to figure out like, how do I get out of this mess? And then I'm like, what, I'm going to try to make it work. But I couldn't make it work because the more I tried to make it work, the worse he became. And then he started to become physically aggressive towards me, where I was just like, what, we can't do this. And so what Spirit is saying is that, as it relates to the twin flame karmic journey and things like that, my husband sought me out, right? He knew who I was, like from a spiritual standpoint when he met me, and he was looking for his opportunity, his way into my life. He entered my life when I had broke up with one of my long-term boyfriends when I was in college. He found a way to victimize me, to keep me in a victim mindset, to keep me in a shame and a guiltful mindset. And then he used that as his power and control over me to keep me in the relationship. And once I started to free myself from that, when I started to spiritually enlighten and awaken, the last resort effort was to have that baby, which was to keep me and to trap me. And that did not work as well. And after I had the baby or whatever, and I left, I tried a couple of times after that to try to, make it work. But the more I tried, the worse he became. And this last instance in July of this year is when I really left. Spirit told me that if I did not leave, that he was going to hurt me very bad, or he was going to kill me. When I tell you, this man got so enraged after he left my baby outside in a pool by herself. And I'm talking about a baby now, not like a 9-month-old baby, but like she's still a baby. She's still under 3. Okay. And he left her outside in the pool by herself. And, I went off on him. And if you would see the rage that was in his eyes, oh my God, I thought I had seen the devil. Okay. Now, another thing that was revealed to me is that he was in conversation with his stepmother about trying to get full custody of my baby prior to me leaving, and that they were working on some type of plan to get her. Okay. There's also some root work that he has done as well. And I talk about this in the first video about, some insurance policies that have been created. He didn't really marry for love. He married for money and opportunity's sake. He left us abandoned, high and dry. He told me and my daughter that we could get the F out of his house and that, we couldn't stay there. And he thought that we was going to sit there. And that's when I got up and left after, he put us out. He took the keys and everything. Again, this is dominance. This is control. He wanted to have control over us. And Spirit said enough is enough. And so that is my journey. I'm going to try to go back and listen to this to see if I missed any key points on the karmic masculine who was, sent into my life. Although it was the worst experience of my life, it was the greatest experience of my life because it has brought me to this point where I am free to, be who I am authentically. Okay. That I'm no longer, being confined by what society is telling me I should be or do. You understand? I walked away from that which was not serving my highest good. You understand? Spirit even revealed that he and I were together in a past life as well. That's how he knew who I was, right? And he did kill me in a past life. And that's because I would not walk away from the relationship. I would not stand up in the relationship. I allowed him to control me and to dominate me. Okay. And in this lifetime, that was one of my life lessons, to be able to stand up for myself, to be able to speak up for myself, and to be able to walk away. But also in the past life, we did not have children. And this is the main reason why he wanted to marry. Well, yeah, this is the main reason why he wanted to marry me, but also to have children so that he could stay attached to my bloodline. That's the real reason, right? Because he knows that I am the divine feminine, right? And if I'm the divine feminine and he's a karmic, then, he has a job. He's an agent. He's to keep you asleep. He's to keep you from being who you are. And I can say that when I started to go to church and all these other things, he did not want me going to church. He didn't want me praying. He didn't want me to be around the church people. He didn't want me to get my baby baptized when the baby was born. He didn't want to have anything to do with anything that represented the Most High God. And Spirit was like, that should have been a sign all along, but it wasn't. We got lessons that we have to learn. And once we learn those lessons, we got to apply them in life. So, that's my story, and it actually feels really good to finally get that off my chest and get it out there. I've been carrying that rape for almost 20 something years. I've been carrying, this guilt and this shame, and Spirit is saying no more. You got to let this stuff go before the end of this year, because where I'm taking you, these mindsets and these mentalities and, these traumas and these bruises, they have to be cleared out. And I've been doing a lot of shadow work, child, for the last, 5 years, starting in 2015 or 2015, 2014, last 6 years. So I've been doing a lot of shadow work. I've been doing a lot of awakening. I've been doing a lot of, healing work, taking responsibility for me and my part of my situation. And, these are the final stages of kind of panning things out. And healing is a life process. But like the gigantic parts of it, the most deepening parts, those things that have to be dissected protected and taken care of. I have done the work on that, and Spirit is saying that, these are the final things that have to be done, which is speaking your truth. And for me, in my case, it's doing it on this type of platform. You understand? This might not be everybody else's walk, right? But this is what Spirit is leading me to do in this lifetime, right? That I am to lead by example. I am to lead by the things that, I've gone through, because I am a healer. I am an empath. You understand? This is what I do. And so I am so grateful, and I'm so thankful for this journey. I'm so grateful and thankful for everything that has happened. And I'm just grateful for what is to come, because the rest of my life is definitely going to be the best of my life. And I have continued to heal so that my daughter does not make the same mistakes that I have, but also so that she doesn't have to experience the same generational curses that I was able to break off our bloodline. All right, well, that's all I have. I am Valencia. This is Valencia's voice. It echoes in the earth rim. Until next time. Y'all, don't mind my baby, though. She likes to act, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with her. She likes to do this at the end of my videos, okay? She is fine. Thank you.